This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the food editor at the Dallas Morning News. 3 Dallas companies made Oprah's favorite things list this year, and we have some shocking numbers from the Texas Restaurant Association to share as well. Also, have you noticed some strange Thanksgiving-themed food items popping up at the store? We have, and we need to talk about them. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I'm joined by Sarah Blaskovich, Claire Baller, and Imelda Garcia. Let's get into it. What is new, Sarah?
Well, guys, Oprah loves us.
Whoa.
I know. That feels good, right? Every year, Oprah Daily comes out with a list of favorite things. And I don't know about y'all, but I find this list to generally be pretty good. There's stuff for everybody, it seems. And 3 local companies were honored in the 2025 Oprah's Favorite Things list. There's one that's super important to all of us because it's a food item. It is a 4-pack of tiny edible snowmen from Kate Weiser Chocolates called Lil Carl.
This isn't the first time Kate has made the list, right?
That's right. In 2018, Carl also made the list. And this snowman is kind of famous in my house. Have y'all melted a Carl the Snowman before?
Never.
I have not, but I have seen him.
It's always felt a little dark to me, but please don't share that with your children.
No, it's funny that you say that because we melt a Carl the Snowman in my house every year. And what it is, it's the snowman's cute little body made out of chocolate. And it looks kind of like a little cartoon snowman. And then inside is like hot cocoa and marshmallows. And it makes a saucepan full of hot cocoa. Now, Anna, my kids are a little sad because Carl dies.
He's cute.
He goes into the milk and he dies. However, it is so delicious and has become like this little family routine of ours that like it's Christmas time, you know, when you make a big pot of hot cocoa and everybody enjoys some with the marshmallows floating on top. So Oprah's team took notice of these, and a set of edible snowmen cost $28 and you get 4 of them. In addition to Carl again becoming famous nationwide, I just want to also add that Kate Weiser, who just makes beautiful chocolates, this year she announced Carla, which is a pink version of Carl. And we will be buying these in my house. Now, that's not on Oprah's list, but if you like a pink snowman for decoration, she's cute.
I already saw Carla. She was at the entrance to Central Market, at least the Lovers one. And so I was like, oh, I know who this is.
Is it the strawberry flavor or something?
Such a good question. She's peppermint.
Whoa.
So perfect for the holidays. And just for context around how big Carl and Carla have become for this Dallas chocolatier, she makes about 150,000 Carls. So that's a heck of a lot of little bitty snowmen. Now, also on Oprah's list, 2 non-food items, but I will mention them here because we're all in the gift-giving season. There is a company called Coco and Dash. This is a mother-daughter business in Dallas Market Center, and they are selling these little lamps with a marble base and a brass-plated shade, and they can work as bookends because they're LED rechargeable lamps. So they look really cool on a shelf. And then there is another woman-owned business that makes a mahjong game where you can teach your kids to play. And this is notable because mahjong is like sort of famously a complicated board game. In fact, I have many friends who have like taken lessons because it's that involved. So these 2 Dallas women came up with Mini Mahjong, which is a way to teach your littles how to play a game that we all thought was too hard for kids.
All very cool things to check out, Sarah. And Claire, you have something for our listeners to check out as well.
I do. So there is a new bar in town. It's always exciting when a new bar opens up, especially this time of year. This is a new spot in Old East Dallas next to Urbano Cafe. Now, if you don't know where Urbano Cafe is next to Jimmy's Food Store. This is actually owned by the same people who own Urbano Cafe, and it's actually connected to that restaurant. So you can go to Urbano Cafe for dinner pop over next door to Silvestro for drinks. And one thing to note, if you are familiar with that restaurant, you probably know that for years, it's been known as a BYOB spot.
One of the few, in fact. It's a tough town for BYOB spots.
That's true. Well, this means that we just lost one because Urbano Cafe is no longer BYOB now that it has this connected bar. But this spot is really cool. It is small. It has 26 seats. It's very moody. It is inspired lightly by the late 1980s. And you'll see some of that in the decor and on the drink list. There's some throwback drinks on there, but they're all modernized. But it's a great little spot. And one thing to note, it has a patio.
I got some fiery emails about it not being BYOB anymore.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised. Like you said, Sarah, there aren't that many places that are BYOB. And Urbano Cafe was a really popular spot for that because of the fact that it is next door to Jimmy's Food Store, which has an incredible wine selection. So people would often go there, pick up their wine, and then head to Urbano Cafe for dinner. And one thing to note too is that the BYOB option is great, especially when you're in a climate where dining is really expensive, which we are in right now. You can often save a good bit of money by not paying the upcharge for alcohol at restaurants. It is unfortunate that we've lost one of those spots, but I do think we've gained something pretty cool in Silvestro.
I think it's important to point out that we're not responsible for changes made at restaurants just because we report on them. I'm not kidding. People are like, why did y'all let this happen? And I was like, we don't do that. They probably have investors. And like we've talked about before, cocktails are one of the surest ways to make the most money.
Speaking of classic restaurants like Urbano, a restaurant in Deep Ellum was saved by a musician and his partner who is a chef. All Good Cafe has been open since the year 2000. And for 25 years, it was run by the same man who was a music promoter in Deep Ellum. His name is Mike Snyder, and he was very well known in the neighborhood. Well, Mike is ready to retire, and word got out to a probably small group of people that All Good Cafe was just going to close. It had had a quarter-century run, and it was time to move on. But All Good Cafe is a fixture in Deep Ellum that serves a need in that neighborhood. So, what do we know of Deep Ellum today? It's loud. There is some crime. We talk a lot about the bars that are open really late. One bar was recently shut down because of what was happening there. And so All Good Cafe is kind of none of those things. It's open for breakfast and lunch. It has singer-songwriter music, usually one or two people on the stage at most. And it's known for its chicken fried steak and its chill hang. And in a news story, I described All Good as the friend's couch down the street. So, if you want a break from a big concert at the Bomb Factory or at a clubby night out, All Good is there, sort of with its worn-in chairs and its menu that you've known, for 25 years.
And it doesn't sound like they're actually going to change the menu too much. So you should still be able to find that chicken fried steak.
Yes, that's right. So John Pedigo, a musician who was in Boys Named Sue and the O's, and he also produces music for a bunch of impressive people like Joshua Ray Walker and some other folks. He and his partner Robin Gill have taken over All Good, and they want to keep it the same. But this restaurant, like many locally owned restaurants, with not a lot of TLC over the past couple of years, it needs some changes behind the scenes that are unsexy. They need to change the way the cash registers work, and they're going to streamline some of the menu for items that were just not selling. So I think the changes that might happen to All Good won't even be noticed, even by its regulars. And the whole point is that these new owners are taking over. They need to make it profitable, and they want to keep it there in the neighborhood. So if you love All Good, or if you haven't tried it, it is a spot in Deep Ellum that will continue to be serving people breakfast and lunch for hopefully a long time to come.
Guys, I have another place. It's going to be open on December, hopefully, because all of these permits and everything. And it's called Lunami Latin Cuisine. And this is a very interesting place because it's a steakhouse, but they're going to serve Honduran dishes also. We don't have many Honduran places in Dallas. They're going to open this restaurant in Bishop Arts, and they are going to offer baleadas. That is like a thick flour tortilla with beans and cream, and it's very Honduran. And tacos and some other soups and dishes. I think with this, Oak Cliff is consolidating as one of the areas with most diversity in gastronomic here in Dallas, because we have Mexican places, we have sushi places, we have a lot of diversity in that area.
I also find it interesting that it's near Chimichurri, a Latin bistro and notably an Argentinian restaurant that is temporarily closed, according to Google. And so we can't go there right now, Melda, but just down the street will be this new restaurant, Lunami.
Yeah, it's going to be on Davis Street, inside the Vans at Bishop Arts Complex.
I think it's interesting that you said that this might be maybe our most diverse area in terms of cuisine. I think that could be true. That's really interesting, Imelda.
Yeah, because we have bodegas, we have a lot of cafes, all these places far from corporate firms. We should dig into that, right?
You know what we should do is have lunch there.
Yeah,
Right?
We should record a podcast in Oak Cliff.
Great, I'll do it.
Sarah, you're really excited about a new spot that opened in Plano last week.
Yes, we have Indian omakase now, you guys. So the word omakase, of course, is the diner's trust in a chef. It means I'll leave it up to you in Japanese. So this Indian restaurant, Joshin, at the Shops at Legacy in Plano, has no Japanese ties, except for they're using that word to describe the 13-course menu that the chef team is putting together, all of one bite Indian dishes. In a world where food has been done so many different ways in Dallas-Fort Worth, I can say with certainty that I've never been to an Indian restaurant in DFW quite like this one. The guy who opened it has worked in tech in Dallas. He moved from India to SMU, and then he stayed here and made web and mobile apps and owned the company. Through it all, he loved to cook, and he's currently in culinary school, and he decided his life's passion is now to open restaurants. So this one restaurant, Joshin, is open now, and it is a huge Indian restaurant where you can either do the tasting menu for $175 per person, or you can order a la carte Indian food in another part of the restaurant. There are also 3 patios and a private dining room. So this place is just massive, palatial, if you will. But outside of that, he's going to open more restaurants. And I think all or most of them will be inspired by his Indian heritage. And he's really interested in explaining Indian culture to the people who come through the doors. People ask me all the time where to eat good Indian food in DFW, and there are plenty of answers to that question. But add Joshin to your list, because I think he's doing something that a lot of us could appreciate and would find really refreshingly different.
It's interesting talking about so many new restaurant openings around town because, Claire, you actually spent some time delving into some recent quarterly data from the Texas Restaurant Association that kind of put the industry into a new light for us.
Yes. So first of all, for background, the Texas Restaurant Association is a group that monitors and lobbies on behalf of the state's restaurants. And so they are kind of constantly tracking the health of the restaurant industry here in Texas. And they came out last month and said it is officially time to sound the alarm, which is not a thing that we usually hear this group say. They're usually quite conservative in their approach to the Texas restaurant industry. And, they know that there's a lot of wiggle room there, that things are often changing quite rapidly. So what they found in their recent surveys is that restaurant traffic is down across the state of Texas. And September especially was really, really brutal for restaurants. One of the worst months that restaurants have seen in years.
I find that data point especially important, Claire, because we always talk about a down summer. It's hot here in Texas. Maybe people are traveling. They're not in their regular routines. September, though, we're back in school. The city is back to operating regularly. That's when things are supposed to be, quote unquote, normal.
And this is something that we corroborated without realizing that we were doing it, because I was pulling all of this data for Michelin restaurants around their alcohol sales. And it was kind of wild because you saw a massive spike with a lot of these restaurants when they got Michelin attention last year. And the numbers for this past September were as if they'd never had Michelin attention, which is a very strange thing to see. And if not, some of them even performed lower than they did year over year, which is kind of crazy.
Yikes.
So since talking with the Texas Restaurant Association about this data, and specifically about what they saw in September, every single restaurateur and chef that I have talked to since then, I have asked how this September was for them. Every single person has told me that it was the worst they've ever seen. The Texas Restaurant Association says that there are a few reasons for this. The biggest one is that consumers just don't have the same disposable income. Wallets are tight for many people, especially middle to lower income earners. Another factor that the Texas Restaurant Association pointed to is tariffs and inflation. So almost everything in the Texas restaurant economy costs 25% more than it did during the pandemic. And that's largely driven by tariffs, which have just skyrocketed food prices. Another factor here at play is immigration enforcement. The Texas Restaurant Association found that restaurant traffic is down in communities where 40% or more of the population is Hispanic because people are afraid of dining out. On top of that, they found that 19% of Texas restaurant operators that they surveyed lost employees this year because of immigration enforcement, and 23% reported fewer job applicants or acceptances for that same reason. Really what is happening is this confluence of economic factors that have created what the TRA is calling a perfect storm. Why this is especially worrisome is because we are entering what is historically the most challenging time period for restaurants, which is the post-holiday season. Usually, the holiday stretch from Thanksgiving to Christmas and New Year's are really profitable for restaurants. And so what those who are tracking all of this right now are going to be paying close attention to is how are restaurants going to fare during this upcoming stretch? And if it does not go well, if this trend continues, we are probably going to see quite a few restaurant closures in January and February because those really profitable months that restaurants need to float them through the doldrums of the start of the new year won't be there to float them.
I'm worried that in sort of a big picture sense, eating in restaurants will become something that only people of a certain class can do.
Unfortunately, it is happening. And we are seeing that in the TRA data. They said the restaurants where you're seeing less of this impact is the quite high-end restaurants. Yeah. And that's because the people who have disposable income are dining there. And so that's why we see so many tasting menus still popping up and so many high dollar experiences still opening because those are still working at least better than others. Now, one thing that restaurants can do, and experts in this field are trying to help position people to do, is to put more of a focus, more of an emphasis on value. And we are seeing this happen in real time. Even huge chains are changing their marketing messaging. We're seeing it at Chili's, we're seeing it at McDonald's. Even places that you already think of as being quite value driven are pushing that even harder and trying to find ways to give people food options that are a bit of a reprieve from the insane increase in expenses.
And I think this is sad not only for diners, but for restaurateurs and for employees also, because this is like a domino effect. If you lose your job, you cannot eat outside and you cannot go and buy in groceries. So this is a whole situation for a lot of people, and this is really sad.
It is, and the next few months will be really telling. So I think it's entirely possible that we are sitting here at this table come mid-January, early February, and having some pretty bleak conversations. I hope not, but time will tell.
And speaking of bad things, this is a solution for a bad thing. When the government shutdown happened, one of the things that were affected was the SNAP program, because all the people receiving food stamps, they didn't get it anymore. So 2 local organizations partnered with some restaurants and businesses like hotels and shops to create this SNAP Bag Food initiative. So they are picking up food and different items to get them to the North Texas Food Bank, Minnie's Food Pantry, and the Network Community Ministries, so they can give it to people who are not receiving these food stamps. Among these restaurants that are receiving things are Asian Mint, La Casita Bay Shop, Lucia, Mod High Bay, Radici Roots, and many others. You can see the full list at dallasnews.com/food. So this effort will continue until all the operations of SNAP are normal again. So if you want to help people, bring some food, guys.
So Imelda, is the ask from consumers that you bring in, is it canned goods and that kind of thing to the restaurants that you listed in your story so that they can then give them to people in need?
Yeah, everyone can bring some stuff to these restaurants. Pasta, canned fruits, vegetables, dried beans, rice, all that kind of stuff. Even if you don't go to eat to those restaurants, you can bring the food to them and then they will give it to these organizations.
And again, you can find a full list of those restaurants that you can drop things off at dallasnews.com/food. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, well, it is time for Thanksgiving.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're delving into some of the weirdest Thanksgiving merch companies have come up with this year. But first, we wanted to invite you to share our podcast with your friends and family. We'd love your help spreading the word about Eat, Drink, DFW and the news we share each week. Okay, we have found some strange merch and food rolled out just for Thanksgiving, and no one has asked for it at all.
This doesn't seem like the right holiday for merch.
That being said, Sarah, can you pull out the chips?
Yes, I brought
Chips. Oh, God.
Thanksgiving kettle chips from Trader Joe's. It says they have the flavor of the classic holiday dish Thanksgiving stuffing in each potato chip.
Which they've also made for popcorn, but I'm not putting this in our weird food list, Sarah, because I actually want to eat that.
I know, I don't know if it tastes good, but we're going to try.
She can't open it.
Why don't they just put chips in Ziploc bags?
The sage is real.
These taste like stuffing, but it's a little meaty.
I was going to say, I'm getting drippings.
I get like the essence of a turkey gravy
Yeah.
in a dry chip.
Gravy is a great transition, though, Sarah.
Do you know that there's a gravy fire extinguisher?
It is not actually safety related at all.
Oh, God.
It is from Firehouse Subs, which loves to lean into fire things and also donates a lot of its proceeds towards firefighters and other organizations. So it makes sense. But for $20, you can buy something that they call a gravy fire extinguisher. It's absolutely fascinating to me. Here is what Mike Visa, director of communications at Firehouse Subs, said in a press release. Thanksgiving emergencies happen. And when they do, Firehouse Subs is on call. But the thing about that is they don't really say what the emergency is or what it's for. And then I found an asterisk within this press release that's like, this is my favorite part of it, does not include gravy. So they're like, hey, we're going to give you basically a really crazy looking gravy boat. Good luck. And we don't know what the emergency is that we're trying to solve.
It looks like the emergency on their website is dry turkey.
Oh.
Which I mean, is it an emergency? Kind of.
But they're not going to give you gravy in there to spray on
No.
your turkey. You got to do that yourself.
BYOG.
Oh,
But
that is absurd.
You put it in the fire extinguisher and squirt it out.
Didn't have to use the word squirt there, Claire.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like the this one time I went to a hibachi birthday party where they put sake in a Nerf gun and sprayed it into people's mouths from across the room.
God.
Is this the gravy version of that?
It seems that way. Also, I feel like the only appropriate way to use this is to just have it on your Thanksgiving table without discussion and no explanation and just use it as if, but of course, this is what you do with your gravy.
Better still if your tablescape is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart, look out.
She would hate this.
This is on sale as of last Friday, November 14th. And again, you know, just $20.
You too could buy this as a gag gift for the holidays.
Yes, that's exactly what this is.
Is this a white elephant gift?
100%.
FirehouseGravyRescue.com.
No, is that the
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
I think they should have used me as their spokesperson.
do
I'm
you
getting
work there?
very into it.
You did a great job. Okay, I have another Thanksgiving thing. If you don't want to cook an entire Thanksgiving dinner or any Thanksgiving dinner, you can just buy a frozen pizza and call it a day because DiGiorno is selling a Thanksgiving pizza with, you ready for the stuff on top?
Yeah.
Turkey, green beans, crispy onions, dried cranberries, and a gravy drizzle, which you could shoot out of a tiny fire extinguisher for $20. And in case that's not enough, it is all packed on top of a Detroit-style crust. So, lest you think that the crust will not be thick enough to carry gravy, green beans, crispy onions, dried cranberries, and gravy drizzle, it will be because it'll be an inch thick of carbohydrates.
What's interesting about this is it is a lot more affordable than the gravy fire extinguisher at $5.49 at Kroger.
That seems like a deal, you guys. And you know, if it's not delivery,
It's DiGiorno.
that tagline will work forever. Kudos to them on that. Since we're on a marketing bent right here, that's a good tagline.
They haven't done a good job with taglines, and maybe it's because I watch a lot less TV as an adult, but like anything from the 90s will stick with me. I can sing so many songs still.
I can give the numbers of certain like plumbing companies and stuff from the local news when I was a kid.
459-2222. Why don't you jot it down?
So we don't have this pizza here, but if we got it, would you eat it?
100%. We do all kinds of weird stuff on pizza nowadays that I'm okay with, like Brussels sprouts.
I will try anything. Although I will say the image of the chunks of turkey and green beans on this pizza are a bit off-putting.
It is quite brown, except for the green beans, studded on top like little superheroes. It doesn't look great to me, I'm going to say. I'll try it too because I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but it does not look good.
It doesn't look good, but maybe it eats like a leftovers Thanksgiving sandwich, you know?
Yeah, I mean, think of what we do with this the next day. In my family, we make turkey enchiladas.
Wow.
And they're so good. But this is not that far from it. Although, stop putting green beans on pizza.
Claire, I want to move on to something that you had described as a fever dream to Sarah and I. And you were like, I don't know if this actually existed because no one else remembers it.
Yes, this is true. I don't even know how many years ago it was. Maybe 3. I found at CVS a bag of candy corn, which, by the way, I don't enjoy. I don't know why I picked these up and paid money for them and tried them, but candy corn that was flavored like Thanksgiving foods.
What?
All of them?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I think there were like 6 different flavors.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
It was
not
a mixed bag.
a literal mixed bag.
Yes.
Yeah, so not a candy corn that does all the Thanksgiving like this
No.
DiGiorno pizza, but you could have some gravy.
like jelly beans.
Like jelly beans.
Yes.
Oh,
Birdie
whoa.
bought every flavor of
Yes,
beans.
there was like stuffing, cranberry sauce, green bean casserole, turkey, and I can't remember the other ones. And the colors of these were unlike anything I've ever seen. Unsurprisingly, they were awful. So bad. And I have never seen them since. I've never talked to anyone who saw them or had them, and it has really messed with me.
It's a haunting of the Thanksgiving candies.
When I'm like, was that real? Did that happen? Did I dream it up? I don't know.
One of my favorite parts of you telling us this story the first time, Claire, was we all kind of collectively and accidentally agreed that CVS has really weird candy.
They do.
Like, this is something we all know, but I don't think had been said out loud yet. And it was like, oh yeah, if you want to go find a weird candy, CVS should be your first stop.
Well, and that CVS feels like a fever dream anyway.
Yeah.
On its own. You're like, am I supposed to be here? Does anyone work here? Do I work here now? Do I have, like I'll start putting these boxes of things away.
Well, and the other people in there are either extremely sick or trying to not be sick, getting a flu shot. And here you are buying candy.
I probably just like went into a fever-like state while I was in there.
Maybe the tryptophan hit from the turkey.
Maybe.
Claire, do you remember any flavor in particular?
The meat one was bad.
I guess.
Like I can still see the color of the green bean casserole one. Guys, I can't even explain it. It was so bad. And I tried to find them for you and I can't find them. There's like no evidence of them existing now.
I do really want some now. They sound horrible and I want them.
They're so bad.
If anybody possibly remembers this or maybe has extras lying around, because we know they don't go bad, we would love to hear from you.
Just down in the couch cushions. Dig deep, you guys.
Email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. That is all the time we have for today. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk, for the news. I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.